I wanted to showcase how to manage the JA Stock Market Challenge games if you're the classroom volunteer or teacher. First, you'll go to smc.ja.org and click on Log In. From there, your username is going to be the email address that JA has on file for you, and you're going to set your own password. If you have not yet created or can't remember it, please click on the Create Reset Password link to get that set. Once you have your password, you're going to click on Log In. From here, you're going to come into your home screen, and this is going to look different depending on your role. So if you are a classroom volunteer, you're going to only see the 3 games pertinent to your specific class period. If you're a classroom teacher that has 1 class section, you're going to see 3 games. If you have 2 class sections, you'll see 6, and so on. I know that it looks very busy, but we tried to use the algorithm of period 1, visit 1, period 2, visit 2, period 2, visit 3, etc. So hopefully you'll be able to keep it in order. So once you come into this, you're on your home tab. All you're going to do is click on the game that you want to play. And you are going to need to click on the role of director in order to maintain and be able to access all of the elements of the game. You need to click on director. And then from here, you're on the game start screen. And literally all you have to do is press start. It is that simple, but we don't want to hit start until the students have had a chance to log in and buy their initial stock. So if you're on this screen, you know you're good to go, and all you have to do is hit start when you're ready. I do want to show you a few other tips and tricks just to help you with your experience. First of all, if you click on this blue bar at any time, it will auto-generate if you do click start, but if you want to see it ahead of time, you can click on it and you can see what's been loaded into that game. If you want to change any trigger dates or make any edits, you can do that by clicking on the edit button. One thing we're asking all classroom teachers and volunteers, if you take the minute to do it, is to click on this edit tab. This edit tab is going to give you the access to the back end of the students. So you just want to go to this Teams tab right here. And if you could do us a favor and double check that we have the correct group of students loaded into the game, we'd appreciate it. So if you just look up here, this is period 1. And yep, this is the students of period 1. That is very, very helpful for us. If for some reason that does not match or you don't have teams loaded, please let JA staff know and we can fix that. If it's the wrong student teams, we really want you to let us know, because that is not something you can really fix easily on the back end. And it takes us about an hour to fully do the process to fix all the screens on the student view. So if we can know ahead of time, it is very, very helpful. Okay, the other cool thing about this tab is you can see the team name. So again, our algorithm, we have A, B, C, D. So be sure the students understand that their team name is that last letter within that fictitious team name. And on the right-hand side, you see this eyeglass. If there's any student logins that are not going to be utilized, usually we have a few extra, you can click on this and hide it from the leaderboard. And then that way you just don't have as much busyness going on with the leaderboard during gameplay. The cool thing about this is you can do this ahead of the game or during the game. And if you accidentally hide the wrong team or the team comes in and they start playing, you can just simply unhide it doing the same method. Okay. If for some reason you were to need the email address that goes along with this specific team, you can find that under the Teachers tab. So if you click on the Teachers tab, I just want to point out, we have loaded both the classroom teacher, in this case, Emma, and the volunteer, in this case, Jeremy, into having the director role. We are only loading student teams under the classroom teacher. So you're going to see that there's no teams under the volunteer, and that's totally fine. We just want to make sure that at least it's under the teacher. But if you want to or need to get an email address, you just click on edit here and you can see again, you've got team A and this is that email address. So if you were need to have that for any reason, you can find that underneath the teacher tab. Okay. So as we go back, we're back again on the game start screen. The last thing we would ask you to do before you actually start the game is to open up these 3 tabs. Now, you will notice that each game has its unique code, and you can see that from this home screen or when you actually open up those tabs. So this specific game code is 1527. You're going to want to write that on the board so that all the students have access to it. You have tabs in which you can just simply click them and open them. But the students don't have that luxury. They actually have to type out the URL, which we have provided on the right-hand side of their slips of paper. You're going to give them this 4-digit code, and they can type it the first time, and then all they have to do is copy and paste it, and then change that last word from left to right to main. One thing to note is that before the game is started, you will see the game name. You know you're in the right spot. If for some reason they forget to replace those hashtags, they're just going to get a white screen. So if anybody says that they can't see it and it's just white, it's because they forgot to put in that specific code. Okay, so again, once you open all of those, as soon as you start the game, I'm going to do that quickly. Once you hit start, you're going to notice that it automatically displays the itinerary, but then also these changed to the actual words that they are. And you'll notice that during gameplay, once we get into a few days, this is where you're going to see the leaderboard. Again, focus on this last letter for their ranking. You've got the, sorry, I guess I don't have the other 2 open. We have the newsletters and alerts. So the newsletters are on top. The alerts come down here towards the bottom. And we also have the stock exchange board. And you're going to notice that this is going to start showing red and green as it gets going when stocks are increasing and decreasing. And we also know that a lot of times it's frustrating because you can't see all 3 screens in the classroom at the same time. But some teachers have found success in allowing this one to be in the background and pulling down the newsletter items. And you can kind of split your screen. You can still see the scrolling, and you can kind of split your screen and be able to see the rankings, etc. So you can play around with that. We know it's not optimal, but it does work. And if you have a smart board as the volunteer or the teacher, you can also just toggle between the tabs as well. So that's how you manage the actual game within the system. You will notice you can pause the game if you need or want to. When you pause the game, the student screens will gray out, so they cannot continue to explore, but it does allow you the opportunity to do a talking point or crescendo a point, etc. And you can simply start again once you're ready. The last thing I want to showcase is just some resources we have available. We have a web page specific for JA Invest, and we have provided this via email, but if for some reason you don't have it or didn't get it, reach out. We're happy to resend it to you. For the volunteers specifically, we have the curriculum that's showcasing the first 10 to 15, 20-ish minutes of class and the content we want you to teach. The student worksheet will once again be printed and provided to the classroom teacher. I want to specifically note the simulation how-to goes through the written instructions of what I've just explained. However, there is a page all about frequently asked questions, and I would encourage you to take a look at that so that you can just gain some additional tips and tricks for the simulation. We also have the student how-to login document. We will provide a printed copy of both of these with our packet of materials to the teachers, but I wanted you to know that this is where a digital copy is if you want to look at it ahead of time. The other thing to note is that we do have a short video that showcases the student login. It's 5 minutes in length, but you can either watch it and just arm yourself with how to explain it to the students, or some teachers have found it very successful to just literally play this and allow the students to be logging in as they watch it. It gives them some nice tips and tricks as well. The last thing we were able to do this semester, because JA staff built the games, is provide game details. So you're going to notice that we've got game 1, game 2, etc. The game details is going to allow you the opportunity to know a little bit more about the game, but also provides the volunteer, the specific trigger day, and the news or alert items. So if you don't want to focus so closely on that being in the front of the room, the students can see it on their own devices, and you have it here that you can do shout outs with. And you can also see the impact of what's going to happen after that news item. So we welcome feedback. We got some feedback that we'd like additional volatility, etc. So we did add that to some of our percentages. We were able to add in the symbols to the stock news items, etc. So we really appreciate all the feedback we got last semester. And we look forward to continuing to make things better as we go. We are also going to provide the stock list for the students. This is very much so just on their screen digitally, but a lot of teachers gave us the feedback that it was hard for the students to kind of process. So we are providing a set of these for your classes, and we can work together in the future to see if that's something that's welcomed or not. So this is just a print-friendly version of all the stocks that are also loaded into the game. You're going to notice that right now it's not uploaded, but eventually this training video will also be found here on the bottom. So feel free to access it if you want. And then finally, we do have an event recap for the Stock Market Challenge that's going to be coming up here in April. We'd appreciate if you would take a few minutes to showcase this to your students. We'd really love participation from your specific school. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and we really look forward to your participation this year. Thanks so much.